Bramble is a game that guides structured conversations. It provides tools for both parents and kids to talk about the things going on in their lives and how they feel about those things. The game lives on your phone, but the conversation takes place out loud and in person. Bramble takes the super fast thought processes rushing around your mind and it slows them down. We usually try to respond immediately or as quickly as possible in a conversation, so we're used to a conversation bouncing back and forth. The buttons in Bramble help you to slow down and think before you speak. To show you all the buttons in Bramble, I have my phone here and I'm going to show you what a game of Bramble looks like. So, once you've chosen who you're talking to and what you would like to talk about, you'll enter into the main conversation. Here you'll see the topic you chose at the top of the screen, as well as whose turn it is to speak in this bubble at the top of the page. When it's my turn, it'll say B for Bernadette. Down here it also says, Bernadette, what will you do? This means that I'm the one clicking the buttons, saying the words, and choosing a move. So before I go into specifics, let me introduce you to the general flow of our game. There are 4 moves in Bramble, and a string of moves played back and forth turns into a conversation. We also have a feedback pop-up that appears every time the turn is passed back to you, because it helps each player reflect on the moves the other player has just used. So let's break down how each turn in Bramble looks. First, I'll choose from one of the 4 big moves. Then I'll pick a specific option to use, and then I'll play the card. So let's see that one more time. First, I choose a big move. Then I'll choose an option, and then I'll use this card. When I've completed what the card wants me to say or do, I'll pass the turn so the other player can respond. Now it's the other player's turn. They'll validate what I did first, and then it's their turn to pick a move. Remember the flow? First they'll choose a move type, then they'll pick a move, and then they'll use that card. Since I've asked a question, maybe my partner wants to tell me about what they need. Click, 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 and then pass the turn. So that's the basic rhythm of a Bramble conversation: choosing and using a move, passing the turn, and then validating what the previous player has just done. Now let me tell you a little more about this feedback pop-up. Each time the turn is passed back to you, Bramble prompts you to think about what the other player just did. It'll ask you a question like, did Min share their thoughts or feelings with you? Now, this is not to judge whether you have passed or failed. Rather, the purpose of this pop-up is just to make you aware of what's going on in the conversation. When you know what the other player has just done, it might help you to choose from one of your next 4 moves. So the first move is, ask a question to understand. In this section, you'll find questions we wrote to help you get to know one another. There are 2 types of questions. Some start a topping up, while others dig deeper into something that the other player has already said. So for example, you might start out by asking about, what is something you didn't want to do this week? However, once somebody has already answered and you just want to learn more about what they already said, you might choose something like, find out more details, so that you can just learn more about what they just said. The second move type is say what I think or feel. These moves help you to express what is on your mind. In Bramble, we encourage you to talk about you. In some of these cards, you'll find guiding words or sentences that help you share your thoughts or feelings. The third move type we have is affirm their feelings. This refers to you affirming the other player's feelings, so what's something that they just said. It means letting them know that you hear what they're saying and you accept them. Maybe you would like to show how you understand how they feel. This menu provides you with different ways to show and grow your empathy. Last but not least, we have get back on the same page. So as hard as we try, there might be times that we misunderstand one another during a conversation. These moments are not big issues or problems. In fact, they're a chance to get back on the same page and reconnect. So if you click Get Back on the Same Page, you'll find suggestions on how to correct a misunderstanding, apologize, or take a break. So there you have it, a game of Bramble. Each conversation lasts about 20 to 30 minutes, and when you feel like you're ready to end, all you have to do is click this red cross on the top of your screen, and end this conversation. There are no right or wrong answers in Bramble. Everything in our game was built to help strengthen your conversation. You might feel weird or unnatural at times, taking turns and using all the buttons, and that's because it is different. Bramble was not made to be a typical conversation. This is a special way of communicating that slows your conversation down and gives you more time to think. Parents, take this time to model to your kids how to use all of these tools. You'll notice that we give the exact same cards to both parents and children, and that's because we believe that deep down, our emotions are what we have in common. If you can, take some time to look through the app before you play your very first game, and if you ever need to, you can come back to watch this video. We're excited for you to try this game out. Have fun!